and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Victims of Bonga oil spill seeks Buhari's help. Bonga oil spill victims to Shell pay your $3.4 billion fine. Federal government meets Ipman, Moman on proposed fuel price hike. And now, the news in detail. Victims of Shell Bonga oil spill have called on President Muhammadu Buhari to prevail on the multinational oil companies operating in the region to ensure complete remediation and end environmental pollution in the area. The Artisan Fishermen Association of Nigeria, AFAN, Niger Delta chapter, in collaboration with the Executive Director, Environmental Rights Action and Friends of the Earth Nigeria, Barrister Chima Williams, while addressing journalists on behalf of the victims in Benin yesterday, lamented that the activities of the oil companies have destroyed their main source of livelihood and posed serious health hazards to residents in the affected area. Chima, in a letter to President Buhari, said the positive steps taken by the president in environmental protection and preservation over the years was commendable, appealing to him to ensure that petroleum extractive companies are compelled to live up to their responsibility of restoring the Nigerian environment. Leaders of the Artisan Fishermen Association of Nigeria, AFAN, Niger Delta chapter, the victims of the Shell Bonga oil spill of December 20, 2011, have demanded the immediate payment of $3.4 billion fine from the company, which was imposed on it by National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA. The victims from the 5 states of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, Ondo, and Rivers State made their demand after a virtual meeting with their lawyers and allies recently in Port Harcourt. A communique signed by Samuel Ayadi, coordinator of AFAN Niger Delta and chairman of AFAN Akwa Ibom State, among others, noted that the fines were upheld by the National Assembly through the House Committee on Environment and the Federal High Court in Lagos. The communique said the meeting was held to x-ray their plight over the past years, efforts made in pursuing justice since the incident of the Shell Bonga oil spill occurred, and way forward for the struggle. The communique stated this hardship, which has led to the untimely death of many of the members of the association, is as a result of the attitude of Shell towards the victims. Shell never empathized with the victims, even during the height of the spill, even when it had been determined through a post-impact assessment that the spill was as a result of operational failure, and an estimated 40,000 barrels of crude oil had been pumped into the waters, which was the operational fields of the fishermen and women. The struggles for justice and faith in a peaceful and lawful resolution of the issue of the spill, coupled with the fatherly disposition of President Muhammadu Buhari, provided the opportunity for NOSDRA to pronounce fines and awards against Shell to the tune of $3.4 billion. The federal government on Wednesday said it was currently engaging oil marketers on issues bordering on the cost of premium motor spirits, also known as petrol, fuel queues, bridging claims payments, among others, in the downstream oil sector. It was reliably gathered in Abuja that the meeting might lead to an upward adjustment in the pump price of petrol, as oil marketers had repeatedly blamed the persistent fuel queues in various parts of Nigeria on the unsustainable cost of petrol. This came as the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, on Wednesday joined their counterparts in the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria and the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association to call on the government to gradually raise the price of petrol. Ipman and Nogasa had earlier pushed for the upward review of petrol price, as some members of Ipman had already effected this by selling above the 165-litre government-approved price. Some of them currently currently dispense petrol at 180 naira per litre and above in many states including Abuja, Lagos, Ogun, Imo, Niger, among others. When informed on Wednesday about the demands of the various marketers groups, the General Manager, Corporate Communications Department, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, told our correspondent that the government was currently engaging the oil dealers. Libyan National Oil Corporation (NOC's) chairman Mustafa Sanala on Wednesday rejected Prime Minister Abdulhamid Al-Dibeiba's decision to sack him, raising the prospect of an open struggle for control of the state's energy producer. In a furious televised speech, Sanala said the Prime Minister's mandate to govern had expired and warned him not to touch the NOC. 3 witnesses claimed that the army was deployed outside the NOC building later in the day, with the soldiers asserting that they were with Al-Dibeiba. A spokesperson for the Al-Dibeiba's led government of national unity was not immediately available for comments. Germany is in talks with energy giant Shell and other undisclosed liquefied natural gas (LNG) suppliers for long-term supply contracts. The move comes amid efforts by many European nations to cut their reliance on Russian gas after the invasion of Ukraine and replace it with alternative supplies. Germany is planning to begin LNG imports to meet the demand for the winter, as government has already signed supply contracts and is also looking to enter additional LNG supply deals with U.S. exporter Venture Global LNG. The National Office of Technology Acquisition and Promotion (NOTAP) has said that 90% of technologies currently powering the Nigerian economy are imported. The Director General of NOTAP, Dr. Dan Azumi Mohammed Ibrahim, who frowned at this development, said Nigeria should encourage and develop indigenous technologies. Speaking at the one-day Patentees Forum in Bauchi, organized by the Agency for Researchers, Inventors and Innovators, the DG decried the situation, noting that the tide must be stemmed to save the nation's scarce foreign exchange. He argued that the world has moved away from resources to a knowledge-based economy and Nigeria must not be left behind. while admitting that the numerous efforts made by Nigerian researchers, investors, and innovators did not translate into products and services. The NOTAP DG stated that the forum was organized to provide the needed synergy between researchers and funding institutions to create the necessary impetus that would ensure that research and development outputs from the nation's knowledge centers are moved to the market as products and services. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Victims of Bonga oil spill seek Buhari's help. Bonga oil spill victims to Shell pay your $3.4 billion fine. Federal government meets Ipman, Moman on proposed fuel price hike. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.